Evening gang. I wasn't going to make any videos today because I've just actually got home from hospital having had surgery, which actually went very well, although pretty painful. But anyway, done now. But the news is just too big to ignore. I had to come on and just make the one video. Reform UK, what's going on? Zia Youssef, the party chairman, the man that Nigel Farage and Zia Youssef himself have credited with them storming up the polls, has resigned his post as chairman. And in resigning, has thrown a bit of a hissy fit as well. He's issued a statement basically saying, I've got better ways to spend my time. So he's gone. What seems to have triggered this, he's been getting quite a lot of stick over recent weeks anyway, but Sarah Pochin, the newly elected MP, made a speech, asked a question at PMQs yesterday about banning the burqa. And he came out pretty much immediately and said, well, this is not even Reform Party policy. I don't know why he said that. He didn't need to say that. He could have just let the question go. No one was really going to press him about it, I don't think. And he seems to have made that statement off his own back without even talking to Farage or Lee Anderson or any of the others. He's then got absolutely steamed into, and it's caused uproar within Reform because it made them look very much like a divided party. So I would imagine some tough conversations have gone on with Farage, and he's thrown his toys out of the pram and stormed off out of the playground. So what happens next? Who's going to become the chairman? Will that allow Rupert Lowe back in? Well, it won't, because Nigel Farage has given an interview this evening saying he'd rather chew razor blades than allow Rupert Lowe back in, so that's not going to happen. Will it damage Reform? Maybe organisationally, slightly, depending on who they replace him with. But from a popularity point of view, the vast majority of Reform supporters probably didn't really have a big idea who he was. Quite a lot of them were quite disgruntled with him. Some of them had misgivings about who he was. And therefore I don't think it's going to damage Reform in any way, shape or form. No pun intended. What will happen next? It's all good news. For me, I think it's a good move. Didn't like the fella. Too oily, too smarmy. Bought his way in just by chucking a few quid at it. Yes, seemed to be a good organiser. Was a very good speaker. But was he trustworthy? Probably not. And Reform should be discussing not just banning the burqa, but banning the burqa, banning the niqab, banning balaclavas, banning all sorts of face coverings. Because generally speaking, they are not wanted and not respected by the British public. They're very connected to criminality, particularly balaclavas. So it's a discussion that needs to be had. And him just throwing his toys out of the pram as soon as she asked the question, it looks like he's lost, doesn't it? So watch this space, let's see what happens next, and I'll be back on making more videos tomorrow.